Baseball been very, very good to Jeff Hammond. And on April 11th, Fox Saturday Baseball returns to bring you another season of great moments from some of the game's biggest stars, as well as showdown between the game's best teams. Fox Saturday Baseball Game of the Week, April 11th in high definition, only on Fox.
I think that was an illegal bat, to tell you the truth.
Green flag, and we restart with Matt Kenseth out front. Mark Martin and the rest of those lead lap cars made pit stops with one to go. So it's Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Kurt and Kyle Busch, Greg Biffle, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick.
Now with that caution and all those pit stops, we are now into a one-stop race here with 73 laps to go.
Three wide,
Kyle
it's the
Busch.
Busch brothers.
That 18 just keeps creeping toward the front, boys.
All night long.
Just methodically been working his way up there.
Nick Berggren.
Well, I'll tell you why, because that pit crew for the 18 car has done their homework. They did not start this race with a car they were happy with. The chassis wasn't performing as well as Kyle Busch had wanted, but on every pit stop they have made minor adjustments and they have crept up on it, and now they're real close for Kyle Busch.
Well,
they're getting ready to go three wide and get down the back.
Fighting back on the high side in the 2 car, and Greg Biffle and the 16's following him.
Mark Martin up in smoke.
Got one more cup.
And I think we knew that was inevitably going to happen.
Yeah.
Clint Boyer, the 33, is a lap down as Martin coasts toward the garage.
See Mark on the bottom down here.
Number 5. Oh,
and there she goes. That valve that Jeff was showing us, it quit going up and down. It just went down.
Greg Biffle comes back into play in the 16.
He wants to be the rock between two hard places.
Darrell, Larry and I talked in pre-race, and I think Biffle, I think that's the car to beat here tonight.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I don't know if you noticed or not, but the guy leading is the car to beat tonight. That's the guy I think has got the ace up his sleeve.
Yeah, because only in about 3 laps since that restart, Matt Kenseth has pulled out over a second lead over Jimmy Johnson. In fact, Matt Kenseth just ran his fastest lap of the race at a 39.95 just a lap or 2 ago.
And that is a lot faster, I mean, by about a half a second than what we've seen all night long.
Here comes the Biff.
Now that was smart on Kurt's part there. He didn't want to race Biffle into the corner. He knows he's faster, and he let him go. That was smart driving.
Darrell, that 39.95, that'd have been a respectable qualifying lap on Friday.
It really would have. And you know, no matter what happens tonight,
unless he gets within 2, I'm not going to say nothing.
If Matt Kenseth wins this race, hadn't anybody done that in quite some time. If Kyle Busch wins this race tonight, that's history. So we can make a lot of history tonight.
But I tell you what, that 48 car, Jimmy Johnson, he wants to make sure that no history is made tonight with that 17 car, that 18 car, as he goes by his teammate Jeff Gordon in the 24.
Well, there's no question the 48's back on their game now. They just got off you know, and it goes that way, Larry. You start off, oh, I'm too tight. Well, you lose. Oh, now I'm too loose. Kind of a couple of stops and you get it back right.
Matt Kenseth has gone to victory lane in this race 2 of the last 3 years. Gordon to the bottom, looking for second place against his teammate Johnson.
And that's about where Jeff Gordon in that 24 car, he's been all race long, is right around the bottom. He got that good run off turn 2 on his teammate, and he'll take the position away. I think there might have been a little give and take there as well. They know they still got a long way to go, 68 laps to go, plus 1 more pit stop at least.
"17 cars on the lead lap." Let's go back to David Rudiman in 13th place. He's running about 9 seconds behind the race leaders, and Krista is in David Rudiman's pit.
And And there is definitely a reason why, Mike. The Aaron's Dream Machine Toyota has been more of a nightmare for David Ruderman today. He lost his brakes. He first mentioned it back on lap 163 when they came in on 175. They checked all the wheel wells to make sure there were no leaks. They said everything looked dry. They checked the calipers. They thought maybe something with the master cylinder, but they went ahead and went out. He just came on one lap ago and said, I have no brakes again.
You know, Darrell, we would come to a 2-mile racetrack and never even think twice about the brakes. But I think just the speeds they're carrying here, the characteristics of this new car, they're using a lot of brake even at this 2-mile track.
When you see the teams pull the front tires off, the right front tire, and you see all that brake dust come out of the tire and the wheel, that tells you they're using a ton of brake here.
Now 17 cars on the lead lap. Of the cars that stopped at the end of this caution period, Tony Stewart, who was then leading under caution, has fought his way back up to 10th.
Tony's just had a kind of a mediocre car tonight. He's been hanging around the top 10 there most of the evening. Still a good run for he and Darian Grubb.
Montoya coming right with him, who stopped on the same lap as Stewart at the end of the last caution.
And there's Jamie McMurray, and I think all of us agree that when the race started, we thought he would have one of the cars to beat tonight.
And he's still, well, right now just barely out of the top 10.
You know, the Childers cars, they're not having that great of a night, but one guy that is staying right in the top 10 is right there in front of these guys. We're riding with him here, the man that finished second in the Daytona 500, Kevin Harvick. Matt, he seems to be carrying the Richard Childress banner tonight.
Larry Mack, he also told me that they felt like near the end of last year they really hit on their intermediate track program. It showed at Homestead. Even though it ended with fuel mileage, they were there all night to finish second. The last run, the car was loose. It made an air pressure change. Now he says, in driver terminology, it is stupid tight. I just can't believe how bad it is right now.
It doesn't take much to jump the fence with an adjustment on these race cars. You can be loose, you can make a slight air pressure adjustment, and next thing you know that the won't respond.
Well, at the end of last year, in the chase particularly, I know Kevin Harvick, they didn't have the fastest car in those last 10 races, but they sure had a very consistent car in those last 10 races. And now we got a little battle here for third place.
Battling Jimmy Johnson for third.
Be smooth, everybody. Drive by him, just stand down here.
You know, we may not have another restart, but I just think if Biffle could get out of the gate on a restart as good as Matt Kenseth's getting out of the gate, he could get up there, and I think he could run with his teammate possibly.
I tell you, there's a little bit of a battle going on right here. I know we got to keep an eye up front, but Jamie McMurray and Tony Stewart, they are having a little bit of a disagreement about track space. This is coming down the front a lap or two ago. And here comes Tony, and they just about collide right here. And this battle, this continues on. This was a lap ago. They're having quite the disagreement about who needs to be ahead of who.
And there's no sense in battling over space. There's plenty to go around here.
Yeah, this is
think so.
Everybody, keep that momentum up. Keep wheeling it.
a big wide
We're better than a bunch
racetrack.
of these right here.
This is a
I don't
big,
think my brakes will make it, though.
oh
That's
boy.
Jamie.
Oh, just be easy on them.
I think that's Jamie McMurray.
It was. This is a big wide racetrack like its sister track, the 2-mile Michigan International Speedway. There, you could run 5 wide here if that's what you felt like you needed to do. Matt?
And the concern, though, for his crew chief, Donnie Wingo, is not about the battling on the racetrack with the 14 of Stewart. It's about comments from Jamie saying that he might have something amiss with the brakes. He says the pedal seems to be going closer and closer to the floor. He's losing the pedal on that 26.
You know, one thing to also point out about the brake situation here, I think we've well documented the speed you enter the corner. This racetrack, it has no more banking than the 3/4 mile track of Richmond, Virginia. Yeah, long sweeping corners, but you have to use brake with this race car getting down in the corner.
See, that's another one of those engineering things, though. Big brakes on a car on a speedway like this is unsprung weight. And these cars are already heavy on the right side anyway, so you probably come with a minimum amount of brake thinking you're not going to need it.
And the minimum amount of cooling pumping air to it.
Yeah, and not a lot of air either.
Strong run for Juan Pablo Montoya. He made that pit stop with Tony Stewart, and there's his target car, the number 42. They made that.
Great, dude.
They switched makes in the off season at what's now Earnhardt Ganassi Racing. And Juan Pablo is 9th, and here are the Busch brothers yet again. This little family squabble for 5th place.
I think Kurt in the 2 car, he knows his brother's a little bit better than him right now, and there's no sense in pushing the envelope still with 60 laps to go.
Say I'm over here. No, I'm over here. No, here I am. I'm over here.
60 laps to go. Daytona 500 winner Matt Kenseth leading Jeff Gordon by just that much.